Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Online Broadcast Blueprint. I'm Jeremy, and I'm super excited with our guest today. Thank you, Bill, for joining, and I'll get to you in just a sec. I want to set this up a little bit, and I wasn't aware of this until Bill just told me. You guys know I'm on this kick about hyperlocalization, right? Finding a niche and doubling down. And to me, one of Bill's stations is the Agape Christian Broadcasting Network. To me, that's a perfect example of not hyperlocalization, maybe, but hyperstratification, right? Where he's picked a niche and is focusing on that niche. I love that. We'll get to you on that in a sec, Bill. But another thing, and here's what's really exciting: Bill's been doing online radio since 2000. Okay, so a lot of experience. We got a lot to talk with Bill about, so I want to thank Bill for being here. And one last plug before we get started. Right at the bottom of the screen, you see this community online radio network. It's the Corn Group. We've only got like 30 folks so far, but absolutely go on Facebook and join that group, and you'll get a lot of meet some great. I've already met just awesome people. Bill's one of the folks I've met through that group. And so, Bill, let's jump in here and get started. I kind of just want to stay out of your way. And I want you to kind of walk us through your personal history. I don't know if you started in commercial radio and moved into, so you're an internet radio pioneer. That is awesome. So let's
they call me an internet guru.
A guru. There you go. So tell us your history. How'd you get into online radio? And you've got 4 stations. That's incredible. So yeah, I'm just going to get out of your way and let's hear from you for a sec.
Well, thanks, Jeremy, for having me on. I appreciate it. And yeah, I got 4 stations. I started out with my first station in 2000, and it was a station that was genre specific, and it was called GCNY, which is back on the air now, GCNY. And back then we had live stream, but we had a free version of live stream. And when they went to the paid version, they threw all us freebies out. Excuse me. So then what I did was I downloaded a program called Winamp and the Winamp server. And I used that for 2 more years before I got sick and I had to shut it down. So, but I've, kept up on it over the years. And in 2023, I decided, well, I want to try it again. So I was actually going to I was going to turn my radio studio now into just a regular music studio. And I hope you don't mind if I get a little religious on you here.
Oh, no problem.
But the Lord spoke to me and said, no, because I was originally going to cut a song for a friend of mine, Mark Lowry, down in Texas. He's a well-known gospel celebrity. And the Lord said to me, no. He goes, you're going to create a radio station and you're going to spread my word through song. And that's how ACBN radio came into being. So I've been on the air with ACBN now. Well, actually, all 4 of my stations have been on the air since 2003. So this is the 3rd year. Yeah.
Wow. That is cool.
I don't use live stream or 365.
Right.
Let's just say that I use a program or a server called Zeno.fm, and they do exactly what Live 365 does. They pay all the fees and everything. The only catch to that is you've got to broadcast over their server. If you broadcast on your own or through another service, you're responsible for getting the proper licensing.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So pretty much like Live 365.
And what is that, if I can ask, cost-wise, what does Zeno cost? What does that cost?
I'm on the free.
Wow.
All 4. Yeah, they grandfathered us in.
Okay.
And so all 4 of my stations run off of Zeno. and it's a free service. Now it's a paid service like Live
Okay.
365, and I think their cheapest one is like
Wow.
39.95.
But
39
that includes licensing.
that includes licensing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
and not
so
many people know that.
right.
Not
Well,
many people know
I
that.
didn't know that. I know a lot of folks pick Live 365 just because it includes the licenses, which is
Right.
great. But Zeno sounds like it does that also and at a better price. So that might be something worth
Yeah.
looking into for
And
everyone.
it's I've looked into Live 365. I've watched YouTube videos and stuff,
Mhm.
and Zeno is so much easier.
Wow. Good
So
to
much
know.
easier. I mean, it does the exact same thing Live 365 does, but it's user friendly. Where
And for those of us that are using, do you use Radio DJ?
oh yes, oh
Okay.
yes,
Those of us that use Radio DJ, we don't really need to use Live 365's playout, their automation. So with Zeno, how's that spelled? With an X or a Z?
Zeno
Just like it sounds. Okay,
.fm, Zeno.fm. You can
perfect.
go there and check everything out. And like I said, all 4 of my stations are running on Zeno FM. As you can tell, what you're seeing behind me is from the ACBN station. I mean, because I took that off the air to do this interview with you.
Oh,
So
wow.
you're
Okay.
seeing my audio and your audio being processed through stereo tools.
I was going to say that looks like
Yeah.
stereo tools to me. So perfect.
And this is fantastic. I mean, I sound like an FM station if you listen to my station. I
Well,
sound just like an FM station.
Bill has offered to help me because you guys know I whine about my struggles I'm having with stereo tools at times. So Bill, I will probably book some time with you
Okay.
to
That's not a
work
problem.
with you on stereo tools. Here's what I want to know. You kind of told us why you started ACBN. Did I get that right? ACBN. Walk us through the first couple months as you're starting. Again, this is kind of I'm going to make up a word here, nichified, right? You're going after a Christian audience, which is awesome,
Localized.
and localized. Wow. Okay. So tell
I
us
watched
about
your video on that, and immediately my station took off. When I
wow.
localized. Most
Wow.
of my listeners now are coming from the local area.
That is awesome. You're in New York, correct?
I'm in upstate New York between Syracuse and Albany. Yep, in a
Okay.
little city called Utica.
Utica. And for folks that don't know, those of us that are unfamiliar with the Northeast, we all think of New York as just a big city, New York City. I've been in upstate New York. It's beautiful. Lots of countryside and trees. It's a beautiful place. So you live in a beautiful part of the world for sure.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And I live in an area called the Mohawk Valley. So ACBN is localized to Rome, Utica, and the Mohawk Valley. And if you listen to my station enough, you'll hear either me or my friends that I employ.
Right.
And another thing is I don't make any money on any of my stations. I do this as a hobby. I do it for the fun. I mean, I'd love to make a little money, but I'm not going to push it. Right. So, because I enjoy doing it. I just enjoy doing it. And when I first started ACBN, I started ACBN using the old Winamp software. And I did that for the first year. And then I discovered Radio DJ dude, Jeff.
Yeah.
Great help to me. And I started using Radio DJ, and I wouldn't use anything else. All my stations run Radio DJ, and it is awesome.
And
really awesome.
This is an interesting thing. I've got another station, my classic rock station, that we don't use Radio DJ. I've been pushing to use Radio DJ. Guys, the difference between just using Live 365's native playout versus radio, it's night and day. I mean, Radio DJ makes you sound like a real FM station.
And if you use stereo tools, if you use the FM output instead of the HD output, and I could show you, how I made my station sound like an actual FM station, phenomenal.
Okay, so now if once we put that out there, we're going to have people reaching out to you
That's fine.
Bill asking for, okay, that's great. So Bill is making himself available to do that.
Yep. I'll
Now,
do what I can.
so here's what I've got going on, and I'm sorry to get us off track here, but
Oh, that's fine.
I'm using the FM output.
Okay.
Basically just I listen to it, but I didn't know I could use the FM output to actually go into my encoder.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh,
What you
okay.
have to do with or stereo tools is you don't use like a button coder or SE caster or anything like that. You use the encoder that's built in to stereo tools.
I
And that's what
I
I've done.
I didn't even know there was one.
There is. Yep, there's actually you could put in up to 4, I think,
Wow.
and simultaneously go out over that. What I have done is I go from my ACBN computer radio station
Mhm.
over through the mixer right here over into stereo tools, and then it comes back and it goes out over my SE caster broadcasting encoder.
Okay, so you and I will definitely I will schedule some time with you,
Okay.
Bill, to walk
Yeah,
through
and
that.
that took a lot of time to figure out too.
Well, that's the thing is the community's great, right? So I'll figure out I learned something about a radio DJ nuance from JY at the Fizz. I'm learning this from you. I've got people that will respond to me and I'm like, oh, I'll try that. So it's been there's a learning curve, but you get little nuggets along the way.
Yep.
Uh,
And a lot
we
of people are using oh, what's that program? Oh, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's oh um Voice Meter Banana, I believe it's
oh yeah.
called.
Uh-huh.
And personally, I tell people I steer them away from that. Because if you're running more than one radio station and you put that on every radio station, you're going to run into overlapping problems. So I just stopped using it. I went out and dropped some money on a decent mixer
Yeah.
and just plugged everything in. Here I am today, 3 years later. Going to be
So
3
are
years
you
in.
using the same mixer for all of your stations?
Oh, yeah. All
That's
4.
awesome.
All
That's
4.
really cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, you're going to get a lot of people reaching out to you with technical
That's
questions.
fine. I'll help as much as I can.
That is great.
As
So
long as
walk us
you don't
through.
call me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So Bill, walk us through your first few months with ACBN when you signed up. What were your priorities? You've done this for a while, obviously, but let's say your advice for someone who's building a station. What are the steps you went through to get, all the bugs out
Right.
and you're a going concern at this point? Kind of walk us through that process.
Well, the first thing I did, as everyone should do, is make sure they have plenty of music.
Mm.
Okay. Plenty. I mean, I'm talking over 1,000 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because if you don't have over 1,000 songs, it's just going to sound like a jukebox.
Yep.
And the same songs are going to play over and over and over. And then what I did was I brought out my Winamp software, my Winamp server, and connected through that. Now you have Radio DJ, which is what I push to everybody. Anyone starting an internet radio station, definitely Radio DJ.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I try to get them to go on to Zeno.fm. It's cheaper than Live 365. And I just set everything up. And I got onto 11 Labs. I pay for 11 Labs. It's only $12 a month, but they do have a free version.
And tell everyone what 11 Labs is if they aren't familiar with it.
11 Labs is a text to speech website. And to me, it's the only one that I have found that actually sounds or has human-like speech voices.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it quite a bit. I mean, if you don't hear me on the air, you're hearing
11 Labs.
Yeah,
Okay.
my employees from
There
11
you go.
Labs, I call them.
Perfect.
And so I started making my own sweepers, my own jingles. I've done a couple commercials for myself. I've gotten special permission from artists to play their music on the station, so I don't have to worry about copyright infringement because I know that they're not going to sue me. So, but even so, it goes through Zeno.fm, and they've got all that they do like Live 365, so I don't have to worry. I'm double protected. What else? A good computer. Now, the best computer you can get is a touchscreen computer. That's what this computer is. It's a touchscreen. And Live 365 is so much easier.
Oh, I can imagine. Wow.
And you need a good mixer. I have a Mackie Pro FX10 version 3. And it does everything that I need it to do. I can even put people on the air over the phone.
Nice. And that's basically, it's a USB mixer, right? So you have
USB, yeah, it's both. You can use it as a USB mixer or separate. I use it as a USB mixer because I went out and I got a cell phone program or a cell phone contract specifically for the radio station. So that's a separate phone. I don't have to use my personal cell phone. I have a separate phone set up here in the studio for that. And all I have to do is hit a button and they're on the air. And if they get too out of hand, I just hit the button and mute them out.
So Bill, how do you have a daily shift that you're live on the air? What's your schedule like? Okay.
I go live whenever I feel like it. I'm like Mark Lowry. He goes like it's not a station, but it's a program, a show that he does, a podcast. And it's called Just Whenever. So that's pretty much me too. Just whenever I feel like it. And I used to do a daily show, an hour daily show. And you can go over to YouTube and put in ACBN radio and it'll bring all those shows up. And the only scheduled shows I do now are at Christmas. I have a friend who will come in and get on the air with me and he'll read like 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, How the Grinch Stole Christmas and all that stuff. He does that once a year for me. Nice. And like I said, I don't make any money off the stations.
But I want to point something out here, Bill. Okay. I can't think of any other radio. This is what's cool about internet radio, right? Traditional broadcast radio. It's all been bought up by a few big networks. It's all the same. I've told this story a jillion times, but I can drive across the state of Washington. I live on the extreme eastern side of Washington. I can drive clear across Washington. I will hear the same classic rock station at 4 different cities across the drive. The only thing different is the call signs. It's the only thing different. It's the same feed out of Chicago or wherever it's coming from. And you know, when you told me you have a friend that comes in and reads "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," I'm like, that is so cool, right?
Yeah, I've got like 4 different microphones. I can put people on the air with me, even over a Restream that I use. Like it's like StreamYard, and I've done quite a few like that.
And that does not happen in these big conglomerates these days. So there's an opportunity for internet operators to really do something special and super local. So
what breaks my heart about the whole thing is there's another Christian radio station in my area. However, it's through iHeart, and they're only on for a certain time. And when they go off there, there's nothing. I'm 24/7. All 4 of my stations are 24/7. I just click that auto DJ and radio DJ and let it go.
It's going. Yeah, absolutely. So you said you've started focusing on the Utica, was it called the Mohawk Valley? Is that what you call it?
Valley. Yeah.
So you focus on the Mohawk Valley. I'm the Clark Fork Valley where I am, right? So you're in the Mohawk Valley. Tell us about your localization efforts. What have you been doing to kind of tap into the local area there?
I've been conversing with different churches and the like, and I've gotten one church right now. Actually, I'm going to be interviewing the priest over at that church on the 15th of April. I've also interviewed a gentleman by the name of Eli Yoder. He was an Amish gentleman. He left the Amish community years ago, and he's gone into his own ministry, and I've interviewed him. So that's pretty much it. I pretty much call churches, email them, and I don't do it constantly, maybe once every other week, and just to let them know that I'm out there and that, if they want to be interviewed, I'd be more than happy to do that. More than happy to run their events on the station community bulletin board. And that's pretty much all I do. We used to have a Christian bookstore here in town. And because when I first started, I wanted to try and make ACBN like an actual traditional radio station with advertisers, sponsors, and all that good stuff. And it just didn't take. And I got bored with it. So I said, well, I'm just going to do it as a hobby. And I'm like, let's start another station. So I'm laying in bed one night. I'm like, pop104.com. That's my contemporary rock station.
Gotcha.
And then I've got OSR, Other Side Radio, and that's my country station. And I've got GCNY, my other station that I had since 2000.
That's
now,
awesome.
I covered 9/11 on GCNY, 17 hours. I was on the air. Yep, I was nominated for a Webby Award for that.
That is incredible. And I just want to go back and dissect what you said for folks listening. Think about this strategy that Bill uses. It's a hyperlocalization strategy, right?
Yep.
He's reached out to various churches. Now, what do you think happens when Bill is going to interview a pastor or minister or leader of a church? All of those folks in that congregation are probably going to listen, right?
And the only thing I ask for in return is a plug of the radio station in their church bulletin. That's all I ask for.
Yep. That's right there. That little thing I think is super powerful.
Yes.
And even what I've realized is simple things like I've started just recently, I call them hometown updates twice an hour. It's a PSA about local events, right?
Right.
Well, what I've started doing on my Facebook is not every day, because there's not necessarily an event every day, but any day there's an event going on, I do a 30-second video on Facebook about it. And I tag all the people, the organization, and that has been, because automatically those people are going to tune in because they want to hear their preacher, or they want to hear you talking about their event. And that's what gets the ball rolling for local stations. And it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now I do have a store on ACBN. I've also got a Patreon page. Yeah, I don't do much with it. If someone wants to buy something, that's fine. I mean, I'm the one that's buying everything pretty much myself. I'm my best customer. But yeah, there's that. And we just started Patreon. We just put Patreon up day before yesterday.
Okay.
And people have seen it. I mean, I've had some hits, but no one's signed up yet. And I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I've got Facebook, and I post on Facebook almost every day. Anything going on with the station, like if I'm off the air accidentally for a few days because of a power outage or anything, I can go to my phone and put, we're temporarily off the air because of a power outage, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
We'll notify you when we're back on the air, So Facebook is pretty much my connection to the world, as I like to call it.
Great.
I've been playing around with the website. We created a new logo, and we've got that up. And I just added this morning a weather widget. So it's localized to the Rome, Utica, Mohawk Valley area. So it gives the weather live for this area.
And here's the thing. There is nothing more local than weather, right? So, and having said that, I haven't done weather for about 6 months, but I'm thinking about going back to doing weather because I really think that's nothing.
Jeff has done a video on how to do that. And that's what I use for ACBN, the radio station itself. I use the widget on the website, and it's phenomenal because it updates automatically twice a day. I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
At 6 in the
That's
morning and
awesome.
6 at night.
That's
So,
awesome.
and I got that from the radio DJ dude.
And I was just going to say, guys, we all of us, everyone I've talked to talks about radio DJ dude. That guy should have so many more views than he does. He
Oh,
does
yeah.
such a great job. Radio DJ
And
dude.
all the Emmys that he's won on
Oh.
on his program, he's won tons of Emmys.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That guy is like, he's more of a computer guru than I am.
Yeah, that's my glaring. I'm not a computer guy. So for me, it's struggling through all of that. But if you don't, anyone watching this, if you don't already follow Jeff at Radio DJ Dude, just find him on YouTube, Radio DJ Dude. Another resource that's been helpful to me, you've probably watched Roderick on the tutorials for Radio DJ. His are pretty in depth. But
he came out with a weather thing that you can set up for Radio DJ.
Well,
just a week ago, I believe it was.
I'm gonna check that out too. So those are two must follow dudes, right? Dudes, no pun intended. Radio DJ dude.
Roderick is a computer engineer.
Yeah,
so he knows his stuff.
Yeah. So those are two super good sources. So let me ask you this question. I have a whole long list of all the mistakes I've made. I'm wondering, what have you learned from mistakes over the years in running these stations?
Oh, I have learned so much. I mean, I'm the type of person that if something goes wrong, I won't stop until I fix it. And I have actually gone a day or two without sleep trying to fix the problem. And I actually have. I mean, my friend is like, how can you just still be awake? I said, because it's personal.
Right.
And I always figure it out. Figure it out. So yeah, I have run in many times and I've learned many a lesson, and you try to do shortcuts, and don't try to do shortcuts on your station. Yeah. It'll take you off the air quicker than anything. So, I tell people, get in there, do it. Don't think about it. Don't sit back. Oh, I would love to do a radio station. I'm just too scared. Don't be scared. I was scared the first time I cracked a mic. And believe me, I was petrified. Yeah. And now I have no problem. I'll crack a mic just as soon as having a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And you learn, you will make mistakes, and you can learn from those mistakes, and don't give up. That's the main thing. Add new things as you go along. Watch Radio DJ Dude. Yeah. Watch Roderick Carter's videos. They are the best ones to learn from. And I have learned a lot from them since I started using Radio DJ. And because I was a Winamp man for years.
Yeah. I think too, the community, right? The online radio community. And we're, again, a plug for the Facebook group, but not just in that Facebook group. But I've found people are very helpful. If you ask a question, there's going to be someone that has the answer and can help you.
And there are many groups that you can join out there that deal with internet radio.
Yeah.
And I'm a member of a few of them, not many, but a few of them. And, people have a problem. I get on there and say, well, try this. This is what I do. Try it and see how it works for you. And they do. And they're like, wow, thank you. I didn't know that would work. I'm like, there you go. I said, learn from it, pass it on, pay it forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So you, like me, you use the word we do this, we do that. But I'm in reality, when you say you're a one-man operation, just like I am.
I do everything. I'm the DJ, I'm the program director, the music director, the secretary, the gopher, I do it all. I just think that if you want to make your station sound professional, use the pronouns we, us, and people will know what you mean. I mean,
totally.
If they don't hear anybody else, they're going to figure it out that you're a one-man show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is great. What has been your favorite thing about running? You got 4 stations. What has been your favorite thing? What is it that keeps you doing it?
The listeners. The listeners. I started out with no listeners for like the first 3 or 4 months, and then I got my first listener, and it's like a whole new world opened. Now I'm up to 500-600 a day
That's
listening to
nice.
ACBN.
Yeah.
I haven't checked the analytics for the other 3, but I know ACN is my baby. It's my pride and joy, so I have a tendency to do more with that than I do the other 3. But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely the listeners. If I have a lot of listeners, sometimes I get the itch to go live, and I'll just come in here and crack the mic and how you doing? I'm here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tell me a bit about your website. I haven't been to your website. Here's what I have done though, Bill. I've watched a few videos that you've posted of you, on air, right?
Right.
And I think I would point anyone to watch those, yours, but even other guys that are
Oh
doing
yeah, definitely.
that. Because here's what you find: probably about half and half of the folks I talk to that do online radio. You got the guys that actually worked radio, and then years later they're like, I had a lot of fun doing. I'm going to go back I'm going to start my own station. So you got those
No,
guys,
I was never a radio guy.
right? And
My
then
career was as a nurse. I was a nurse for 40 years,
interesting.
and I'm
So,
62 now, so that goes to that should say something.
yeah.
I just came out of the woodwork, and boom, I just went nuts with it.
So why was it? What was it that drew you to starting a radio station?
I think what drew me the most was I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be
Very
famous. And I said, well, I'm not going to do it being a movie actor because I can't act,
good.
but I can do it behind a mic and not be seen. So, and that's what got me into it. Plus, most of my stations are not hyper localized. Only ACBN is. The other ones, as you know, internet radio is worldwide. So, but I've hyper localized ACBN, and when I hyper localized, it was like overnight my listenership took off.
That is
Took right off.
awesome. So as a kid, Bill, and when I say kid, 12, 14, 15 year, were you a radio nut? Did you listen to radio all the time as a kid? Really? Okay.
Hardly ever. I mean, I grew up very, very poor. I come from a very poor family, and we didn't have, couldn't afford a radio. We could barely afford a TV. So I grew up, to this day, I don't watch much TV or listen to the radio. I mean, I don't even listen to my own stations half the time. I just don't. I mean, it's just like, the only time I'll listen is if I'm cracking a mic and talking and playing music or speaking the word. And that's the only time. I mean, really and truly. So no, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. That's what I wanted to be. And my mother could not stop me from talking about it. Mom, I'm going to be a doctor someday. I'm going to be a doctor. Well, I didn't make it to medical school. My grades weren't that great, but I was able to go to nursing school.
Right.
So I became a nurse and did that for 40 years.
And that's a great career.
Yes.
That's
rewarding. And I worked in geriatrics, which nursing home patients.
Right.
That's what I worked with.
Okay. I always like to ask that question because I like to, what motivates people. And I'm finding it's amazing. It's amazing the things that bring people to doing this. And that's just one of the great things about the technology that exists now. Back in the 70s or 80s, if you wanted to have a radio station, it would cost you $1 million, right?
Those days I would hear, I'd say, well, I've got an internet radio station. Oh, internet radio, that's not real radio.
Right.
Today, it's like the total opposite. Oh, you have an internet radio station? I'm like, well, try 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like and these are radio DJs from traditional radio stations. Like, wow, that's cool. Tell me about this. Tell me about that. 25, 26 years ago, it was like, oh, internet radio. That's not real radio. That's not real radio.
Well, I think it's going to do what podcasting has done. 10 years ago, very few podcasts. Now everyone and their sister has a podcast, and internet radio is kind of in that same trajectory. But here's the thing. 95% of them are just jukeboxes.
Exactly. Exactly. I would say that's pushing more like 98%.
Probably so.
You can go to Live 365. Unfortunately, Zeno, it's kind of hard to find, stations that are playing just music. A lot of their stations, are basically traditional radio stations that are just using the system going out over the internet. But a lot of like Live 365, I believe in one of your videos, you said, go listen to any 10 stations, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And I did. And I'm like, okay, there's like 7 songs in a row.
Yeah. It's playlist.
Talking.
That's all it is. It's playlist.
My station's up that after every 2 songs, I run a sweeper, a jingle, or a commercial, or a station ID, just like you do.
Yeah. And that's the great opportunity, right? Is like ACBN, you're like double localized. You're doing a geographic local, but you're also targeting a Christian audience, which is super smart. We've talked about it before, right? You got to give your listeners something they can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. My demographic is between 45 and 75 and female.
That's pretty much mine. Mine. Yeah. With Radio Valley. Anyways, my classic guitar rock radio, it's like 45 to 70 male. I mean, there's no women listening to that one, but,
now my GCNY station is like, from like 15 up to like 35.
Wow.
The younger generation, because it's more hip hop, more rap, what like today. So
yeah,
that's what that is.
That is so awesome that you're so diversified. I am what's the expression? I'm busier than a one-arm paper hanger just running 2 stations. I don't know how you do 4. Yeah.
Basically the other 3 stations run themselves.
Okay.
I just check the analytics every day and I see if there's a problem. If there is, I try to fix it. And I still get listeners. I mean, I don't get the amount of listeners I get on ACBN, but I still get probably 15 to 20 a day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome.
And like I said, my stations all run 24/7.
That's perfect.
They never, and if they do turn off, I have a program that I run that I can tell you about later on. And what it does is it actually brings radio DJ right back up again automatically. So if my radio DJ goes down on any of my stations, I won't be down for longer than 15 seconds.
Wow.
Actually, Jeff did a video on it. And that's how I learned about it. And I use it on all my stations. Believe me, it's helped me out of a couple of sticky situations. I've had the station go down, people calling me, screaming, "Why? That was my favorite song. Why did it go down?"
Why did it go off? That's awesome. So, that's good, though, because that means people are listening, right?
Yes, exactly.
There have been times when I've heard something glitching out and I rush home to fix it and I look and go, oh, gosh, there's no one listening right now.
Well, I've had days like that. I've had days where I've had, 300 listeners.
Yeah.
And days that I've had no listeners.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
None whatsoever. And then days where I've had 1 or 2.
Yeah. That's the nature.
I call it the luck of the draw. The luck of the draw. That's what I call it.
One thing I've found is there's a correlation between my Facebook videos and listenership more than anything. I mean, I post other stuff all the time, but I can actually go and see when I post a Facebook video, 30 to 45 seconds, I will see a bump up in my listeners.
I see that too. I mean, I don't post many videos. I think I've posted 1 in the last week, but posting every day, I've noticed that too. I'll make a post and then I'll look and I'm like, wow, 50 listeners.
Yeah.
This morning I was up at 5:30 and I said, for giggles, let's see how many listeners I've had. So, but I posted on Facebook first. I had 35 listeners.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, 5:30 in the morning.
That's really good.
Cool.
Yeah. So, and I, to be honest, when I check in real time, I usually have anywhere from 5 to 10 listening at the same time. Sometimes you'll see 30, but over the course of the day, it'll be a couple hundred, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's, like you said, some days there's 12 people listen
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. But that 35, 40, 100, 200 people, that can drop just like that.
Totally. Yeah. So
we're lucky where internet radio stations are lucky where traditional radio isn't, is that we can check out our analytics live time
right now.
Zeno and Live 365.
Yeah.
I mean, I do Zeno. I'm on Zeno practically all day with all my stations, just checking the analytics. And I go from there.
So let me ask the obvious question here. Are you retired? Did you retire from nursing? Are you done?
I retired in 1997. I've been a nurse. It'll be 40 years this year that I've been a nurse.
Okay.
I retired in 1997 due to a back problem.
Gotcha. Okay.
I lifted on somebody I wasn't supposed to, and I really hurt myself.
So you're able to devote a lot of time to your stations, maybe more than a lot of us that might have a full-time job somewhere.
Right.
My goal is to retire. I'm 58, so I got a few years, but I would love to retire at 62 and then just do my radio stuff full-time. Again, it's not about money, right? We're all doing it for fun, but I've got a model where I do make money. I have sponsors.
If I was to make a little bit of money off my Patreon subscriptions or the store, fine. Yeah, that's perfect, because it doesn't matter. It won't go in my pocket. It'll go right back into the radio station.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Here's what I'm going through right now, Bill, and you've probably done this. I'm actually getting serious enough, because I haven't done it yet. I've had 2 years ago was when I started my classic rock station. Just over a year ago, I started Radio Valley, and I'm just now making it a business. I've applied, I got my DBA, I've got a business account. There are tax advantages, by the way. And so that's what I'm setting up now. So I can actually, even if I don't make a ton of money, that you can write off so much,
And you know that your radio stations are willable.
I did not know that.
They are willable. To my best friend, I've willed all my radio stations to him. But what I have done, because I have half siblings that are greedy and constantly calling for money, and I won't give it to them. And I wrote them out of my will. I disinherited them. I put it in my will. And what I did was I put all the radio stations into an LLC, and I put the LLC into an irrevocable trust. So it will not go through probate. They cannot be different. It'll go right to my friend. Yep.
Okay.
Except for the stuff that I want to go to my family.
Interesting. And that's something we should probably talk about more often, is kind of setting up your stations as a business, tax ramifications, legal ramifications. Maybe that's something we can have you come back on and talk about.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, Bill, just kind of some final thoughts. What would you say? I got a lot of people that I'm talking to right now that are in the process of creating their stations. Some have just gone on the air, like in the last week or two. Others are not quite yet ready to, pull the trigger, but they're doing their due diligence. They're getting music. They're getting ready to do it. What tips would you have for someone in that boat that is just starting a station?
Just starting a station, I would say the very first thing that they should do is not be afraid to crack the mic.
Okay.
Don't be afraid, because they're not going to see you unless you're on video like we are right now. I mean, there are times when I don't do video at all. I just do straight, like, traditional radio station. Boom, boom, boom. And then there are times when, I'll be on live and I'll turn the cameras on and let people watch me do what I'm doing. But that's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is don't put it off.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about doing it, do it.
Yeah.
Because once you do it and you get a taste of it, you're never going to want to stop. I started 4 radio stations, and I do it 24/7, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
It is addictive. And even the stuff, that's, it's like fishing, right? What do they say? The worst day of fishing is better than the best day of working. Even though we get frustrated with these things, we still love doing it. That's part of the fun.
Yeah. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you can learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
And what you learn will make your station better.
Absolutely. And if you wait until everything's perfect, until
you'll never crack a mic.
You'll never start. Absolutely. No, absolutely.
I mean, radio DJ dude, he says the same thing. Don't be shy. Just crack the mic and start talking. And that's another thing. I'm going to give him a plug. His Radio DJ 101 course, definitely get it, because it will help you overcome your fear of cracking the mic, starting your station, and all that stuff. Jeff is awesome. He is absolutely awesome. He's helped me personally on a lot of things.
Perfect. Well, Bill, I want to thank you for your time. We'll definitely be in touch. Okay. Bill's a great member of the Community Online Radio Network, and he's a resource you can use. He said it's okay to ask him for help. So
send me an email, info@radioacbn.org.
info@radioacbn.org.
Yep. Okay. .org. Yep.
Okay. I will put that up. Let me hang on here. I'm going to write that down and I'll put it in the description.
Okay.
Of this info@ACBN
ACBN.org.
Okay. I'll put that in the description. Bill, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We'll be in touch. And guys, thank you so much for watching. We will, I got to minimize my thing here so I can stop the recording here. We will get this posted up here in the next day or two, Bill, so we can, I'll watch it and share it. So anyways, thanks so much.
Thank you.